Well, guys, I guess the day's finally come. We got our first check engine light. Let's get into this video and I'll talk more about it. Well, guys, like I said before, the day has finally come. The Trac's done its first check engine light since I bought it. Or I shouldn't say I bought it, because I was 16. My parents paid for it, obviously. That's kind of that. And am I upset? Very. I mean, I'm more annoyed than I am upset because, the timing is terrible. There's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now, and this is not what I need. This is really just poorly timed. The truck's not running right now because of what the code is. I've been trying to deal with it a little bit at a time, but let's get into it. So, I was leaving school, went and grabbed some lunch. I got some Chick-fil-A, of course, one of my favorite fast food restaurants. Went to go pick up my brother and sister because that's how I make my money. If you didn't know, since YouTube stopped paying me, my parents have just kind of jumped in and just been like, yeah, we're going to help you out a little bit. Just give you, I think it's about, I forget what they do. It's like $10 a day for me to go pick up my brother and sister. Not a bad deal, but, I mean, I get about $50-$60 a week, which for me, that's fine. Covers gas. But that's that. So I was going to my brother's school, and, I get there, and I park, check engine light. Okay, crap. What do I do now? So I crank the truck off, turn it back on, and then I use my trusty SCT X4 to read the codes. And it gives me the code. I'm going to put it right here next to, right in this area, P0300, which, after further research, was a misfire code. And it didn't give me, the tuner itself didn't give me the information on where the misfire was, say bank 1 or bank 2 or something like that. It didn't give me any sort of information on that. It just said no information available. So I went online to the I believe it was Explorer Forum, or it was Ranger Express. It was one of those two. And the code is for a misfire. That's how I found out. And I read on there that sometimes it has something to do with the timing chains, which if you're new to the channel, my truck's timing cassettes have been going bad. I've been getting the timing chain rattle for months. I would say it was after Christmas for me and Kason shot the photo shoot. So it was right before New Year's. So right before New Year's, I started getting the timing chain rattle. And of course, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, "Well, why didn't you fix it earlier?" Keep in mind, it's about $3,000 to replace the chains, and possibly rebuild the motor if it's lost compression, which is what I'm going to get into here in a moment. So basically, another thing I read is that the motor could have lost compression, and that could be causing the check engine light, obviously, because of misfiring, because it lost compression. So I called my dad, and he said just to clear it, it's probably just a one-off thing, it won't come back. Okay, cool. Clear the code. I go inside, I turn the truck off and everything to go to the bathroom at my brother's school. I come outside, turn the truck back on. My dad calls me, check engine light comes back on. Sure enough, again, P0300, and another code, which if I remember correctly was P0316, which is misfire upon startup, the first 1,000 revolutions. So obviously, there's something going on with this engine that's misfiring. It could be something as small as a fuel injector, to something as big as, my engine's completely crapped and has lost compression. So I'm kind of trying to keep myself at peace with this, because it's nerve-wracking, because as I've said in the many videos before, this is the only vehicle I own. Even though legally it's not even in my name, because I was 16 when the truck was purchased. So, I mean, legally I don't own anything, but this is my truck, basically. I pay for all the modifications. I pay for everything but gas and insurance, basically. Actually, I pay for gas now as well. So, I pay for everything but insurance. So, I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I'm stuck with these bad timing chains and this check engine light issue, the misfire. But what am I going to do? That's the only thing I can have to get me to school in the morning. I can't pay for a rental car, obviously. That's $200 a week, I think. Something like that for most rental cars. For something cool, and I'm stuck. I literally just can't even drive my own car to school without worrying about it. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, just sell it, trade it in. There's stuff going on with it. I can't do that right now. And plus, like I said already, my parents legally own the truck. I can't sell it. They have to sell it. And they have no interest in doing that right now. As much as I would love to get into the next build, you know, I want to finish what I've started. I want to, you know, deal with this whole thing. And it's nerve-wracking, like I said. But hopefully everything's going to work out in the end. Just kind of, you know, trying to figure out what's wrong. So, yeah, I picked up my brother. I cleared the code one final time. It was the second time I cleared it, and it hasn't come on since. I was sitting out here cranking it up and stuff and trying to see if I could replicate it, any sort of the circumstances that caused it the first or second time. See if it caused it a third time so I can go to AutoZone and check it. I probably shouldn't have cleared it that second time, so I could have taken it to AutoZone and have them check. But I decided in the long run I just wanted to just deal with it myself, I guess. Especially since the tuner won't tell me what bank it is that's causing the issue. It just, you know, throws the light and just shows the P0300 code. So, like I said, I'm stressed out, but I really only have 3 options, 2 of which are the most likely to happen. One of which is just replace what's gone bad, which could be, you know, again, a fuel injector or the timing chains, which is what my theory is, my personal theory, is that the cassettes, since they're worn out and they're getting to a really bad point, it's just going to cause a misfire because it's just not, the chains aren't having any tension. They're not really being guided very well. You know, just fix it, deal with it later. You know, my engine, not even worry about compression, not even worry about replacing the motor. Just go ahead, throw the chains on, or fix the injectors, or fix the gaskets, whatever could be causing it to idle like crap and misfire, getting it dealt with. Okay, not checking the motor out, not doing anything with that, just going for that, and we're done. So that could leave us with issues down the road, because what if the engine's lost compression? So we spend about $2,000, $3,000 replacing those timing chains. We get it back and it still misfires because it's lost compression. We're kind of screwed. So our second option, which is what I want to deal with first, is do a compression test. That's part 1 of the second option. Of course, our actual second option is to replace or rebuild the motor, which is, you know, also going to be costly. It's going to be, you know, several $1,000s to replace the motor or rebuild it, depending on the problem. Well, actually, no, when it comes to rebuilding and replacing, there's not really a problem until you just do it. Which is something that, you know, I was going to do eventually anyway, if I kept this thing for a long enough time, but I'll just get it done earlier. And our third option is, well, the one I really don't want to do, but would be kind of cool to do anyway, but it would be causing financial debt, which I don't want to do because I'm young and I don't have a normal job, like I've said in the past. Buy a new car. And I've had a bunch of people tell me, you should do it. You should do it. This boy Trac's trash. I disagree. But again, it really just depends on what my parents want to do. They legally own the truck, so that's kind of the situation I'm stuck in. So, but that's kind of that. So the Sport Trac, the first check engine light. Obviously the reason it's not lit up right now, I mean, I don't have the key in the ignition. I mean, so it's stressful, but all in all, it'll get worked out in the end, whether it be, you know, fix this or get something new. Obviously, if I get something new, this will still be here. This thing will not leave the channel for a very long time, even if I replace it with another car, unless my parents just decide to sell it. That's really it. But that's kind of that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. I know it was kind of a boring video just watching me sit here and talk to the camera for the last 10 minutes, but it's just, it sucks. Well, hopefully, like I said, I don't plan on getting rid of this thing, but if worst comes to worst, I mean, it may be time to part ways. But that's kind of that. Thank you guys again for tuning in. See you guys next video.